It's time for the One Bar and Lupica Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
Welcome back to One Bar and Lupica Show. I am Lupica's here with a very thoroughly clothed One Bar today. You cold?
Yep. You know, for a June day, it's a little brisk out there.
Little blustery. That damn lake wind. You know what they say about that?
No, I don't.
I think they say it's cold.
It is cold. It is cold. We'll take it.
All right, today we're going to talk about the defensive underdogs. We already talked about the offensive ones, one of our most popular videos we've ever had, and now we're hitting the defensive side.
That's not true, by the way.
Oh, all right. Well, before we get into this, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like our vids if you do like them. We're not.
Let's get to that 1,000 subscribers, huh?
Hey, let's get to 600 first.
Oh, I'm shooting for 1,000. Let's do this.
I hope I wake up tomorrow and there's 1,000 subscribers.
I hope I just wake up tomorrow.
It's small steps.
All right, yes. Let's talk defensive side of the ball. So are we going defensive line or are we going straight up defensive end, defensive tackle?
Oh, I went D and D tackle.
All right, well then let's start with defensive end. Who is and let's make sure we define this. This is just an underdog guy that could come out of nowhere and produce that nobody's really talking about, or just somebody that we know is going to do their thing but just doesn't get as much love as they should.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of a guy no one's really giving a shot. And I know when I talk about the defensive ends making the team this year, the guy I picked, I immediately write him off. But looking a little bit closer, maybe we shouldn't be writing him off. It's Eddie Yarbrough.
Oh, wow.
He had 2 seasons in Buffalo. He had 63 tackles and a sack. So, if anything, this guy can defend the run. I don't know what happened last year, but he didn't play a single down. If he was hurt, practice squad, what happened to Eddie Yarbrough? But he has showed a little something in the 2 years he did play. So I think it might be a bit of a mistake just to immediately blow him off and then think he's not going to make the team. I mean, give this guy a shot. Maybe he's got a little something to him.
I'm gonna break some news here. I know why he didn't play last year. It's because he's not very good.
That's what I feared.
But you know, when you look at the depth at defensive end, it's kind of like Robert Stack on Unsolved Mysteries. You don't know what we're gonna get here because
I'm right.
It's very young, and we have 2 kind of random vets with Yarbrough and Zettel. So it's anybody's guess. But I'm actually going on the other side of things. I'm going Anthony Zettel. I don't think either of us have been very nice to Yarbrough or Zettel, but Zettel has at least done something. When he had his chances in Detroit, he made the most of it. He's been with Cleveland, he's been in San Francisco, but their defensive lines were pretty damn good, and he didn't get much of a shot. So I'm going to say Zettel, underdog-wise, actually makes the team and adds some of that veteran depth that we need. At least I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, at the same token, there's a very good shot that the depth is the 2 rookies too. So it's a wide open competition. What does Zettel have? Like 6 sacks that 1 year? He had a decent.
Yeah, it's 6.5. I think about 6 of them were against the Vikings.
It's a good thing he's on our side now. All right. Well, you got Yarbrough. I have Yarbrough.
No. You got Yarbrough.
Hey, I think he's a bigger underdog. So I took the biggest underdog.
Well,
next guy.
You make a good point, though, against the run, because Odenigbo is not known to be very stellar against the run, and neither is Zettel, and the other guys are just rookies. So he could be a guy they put in there early downs. You never know.
You never know. It's still an extreme long shot.
It is.
All right, let's move inside of D tackle. Who you got?
D tackle, again, just a lot of mystery. I'm going boomer bust on this one. I'm actually going with Hercules Mataafa. It's time for him to shit or get off the pot. Last year, all the intrigue in preseason. I think he's either going to be a fantastic underdog that just comes in a pinch or not even make the team. So I'm going on the other extreme. I'm going to say he's going to make the team. I'm going to say he's actually going to help produce on this defensive line and back up some of that hype from last year.
You talked about him shitting or get off the pot, then you said he's going to come in on a pinch. A lot of poop references there.
Yeah. Very well thought out.
I think he is pure poop. Anyway, my guy's not really well, I'm going with Armand Watts. I'm just going to put it that way. The reason I'm calling him an underdog is I don't think anybody's giving him a shot to start, but I think he's got a damn good shot to earn the starting spot next to Michael Pierce. Look at the competition. Shamar Stephen was a turd last year, 21 tackles, was not stuffing the run, which he was supposed to do. You got Jaleel Johnson, who is a lot like Watts, where they can both stuff the run and they can both get inside, create some pressure on the interior. So unless James Lynch blows them both out of the water,
Ooh.
I think Watts has a very strong shot to get a starting job, and I don't think he's getting nearly enough buzz surrounding him right now.
Yeah, I think he's got a real good shot at it. And just to be clear, James Lynch is my boy. My boy.
Well, because you got the same orange hair problem.
Yeah, and I love him for it. Let's go linebacker. Again, very, very murky waters come depth. Who's your underdog at linebacker?
Well, I might have cheated here because I picked a guy who's going to start, Eric Wilson. But why he's an underdog, I think he could have an absolute huge season next year starting. He came in and started 6 games last year. He had 62 tackles, 3 sacks, like a forced fumble recovery, something like that. If this guy starts for 16 games, I mean, we're talking he could have 120-something tackles. He could have up to 10 sacks. He could have a huge year.
Jeez.
I think everybody's just expecting him to be gone after the season because we got Troy Dye there. We're not going to be able to afford him. But I think Eric Wilson's sitting on a huge year, and no one is talking about the kind of year he could be having this year.
Well, by the sounds of things, you want Eric Wilson sitting on your face.
I'm just
10 sacks, 120 tackles. Whew.
Project those over 16 games.
Yeah, no, I actually have Eric Wilson too. Maybe not to that extreme, but Wilson's going to be coming in hungrier than ever, wants that big old fat contract this next offseason. He's going to be a free agent, and he just gets overlooked. I mean, with Kendricks, Barr, offense are going to be looking at them, and Eric Wilson's going to have his chance to – I could see him having 6+ sacks and making a shit ton of plays. I love Eric Wilson, and you're right. People are kind of writing him off, and it'll come down to his price tag, but until Troy Dye actually does something to prove something, he is definitely not just going to be handed that spot.
And yes, I would like Eric Wilson to sit on my face, all right?
Maybe after a couple of years.
All right, let's move on to cornerback. You start this time.
Cornerback, this is an easy one for me. It's a gimme. It's probably the same one. Hughes is coming off an injury. Holton Hill is – everybody's wondering about him. But Chris Boyd's my guy here. Came on late. In that Bears game, was actually one of our better special teamers last year. And underdog-wise, I got him as we lost a handful of guys on special teams, Kentrell Brothers, Curse, even Sendejo. So I think Boyd will be one of our better special teamers, and I think he's going to be higher up on the depth chart come cornerback than people are thinking.
Yeah, I also have Chris Boyd. You look at the progress he made from a year ago. He looked completely lost in the preseason. I mean, he wasn't even within 15 yards of the guy he's supposed to be covering. He couldn't tackle. I was actually mildly shocked when he made the team. But to see the steps he made last year, and it started with special teams, he was an awesome gunner out there. And then you could see him enjoying it. He started celebrating, doing dances and stuff when he'd down a punt or make a tackle. And that confidence carried over to defense. And, I mean, the last quarter of the season, he got some extensive playing time, finished with over 20-something tackles. Experience-wise, he's not that far behind Hughes and Hill, and if he continues to progress through the preseason, I mean, he could potentially push them to start if either one of them struggles.
Yeah, I remember watching him early, and I thought he was just completely gone. Even in preseason, it was like the third game. I don't remember. It was just horrible. Yeah. And I was not on the Chris Boyd train, but it's official that I just bought my ticket to that train.
Yeah, it's clear he takes coaching well. He's definitely listening to what he's been told, and he does it on the field. So not everybody's like that. Not everybody's as coachable as Chris Boyd has been. So I think I might want him to have a seat too.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that. All right, safety. We got our big boys up front, and then other than that, it's nothing but rookies. So who do you got?
Oh, I went with the undrafted guy, Miles Dorn. I think he's just got as good a shot as the guys who were drafted to make the team. Big hitter, maybe not as good as coverage as he is coming up and tackling and coming up and playing on the line, but it's absolute. There's no locks here. Josh Metellus isn't a lock. Brian Coles needs to develop. Miles Dorn has every shot as they do to make this team.
Yeah, I think that last spot comes down to Dorn and Cole. They're both known for being thumpers. I think Dorn is actually better in coverage than Cole, but Cole might have a bigger upside. But I actually had Dorn too, just because I think he would be a fantastic special teamer, and I think he's actually more ready to get tossed out there if need be in the secondary. So I'm a Miles Dorn man.
Yeah, and we also got no one talks about Harrison Hand here either. If he does get converted to safety, Not that he's a shoo-in either, but he muddies the waters a little further if he jumps in the tub too.
Ooh, sounds like a fun little tub there.
It does. I'd be the soap.
Oh, well, that is our defensive underdogs. We're pretty much on the same page with a lot of these guys. Definitely not on the same page with Eddie Yarbrough.
Yeah, but talking about him, I feel like maybe you're taking a step in his direction a little bit.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all.
All right, we'll be back later in the week. We'll have some more delicious Vikings nuggets for you. Hey, speaking of nuggets, what's your favorite dipping sauce?
I don't get too fancy. I don't stray. I'm barbecue.
Barbecue, man. I like ranch.
Chicken nuggets?
I put anything in ranch.
Mm.
All right, so until we come back, here's a fact for you guys to chew on. And actually, chewing on is a great word to use when I talk about this fact. You ever had cornflakes before?
Yeah, I have. I love them.
Well, they were invented to discourage masturbating.
They don't work.